All right, what's good, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I want to talk to you guys today about how it feels in order to follow your rules and actually become a disciplined trader. So just a brief overview. I've talked about this in countless videos before. However, I used to be super emotional on the charts and super undisciplined, right? I would see price run without me and I would just instantly just press buy or sell just to get in the order because I see price running, or I would get stopped out and immediately re-enter because I would think I thought I was right in the market, right? And well, what did that end up doing? Well, that just ended up hurting my psychology and essentially telling my own brain that that shit was okay and for me to keep doing it over and over and over again, okay? The day I decided to follow my rules was the day everything changed, and that same day was the day I became patient as well. So patience and discipline incorporate with each other. And in a second, I'm going to show you guys live examples on the charts that I took today. There was two trades today. One was a loss and one was a break even. And I want to show you guys how it feels to actually be able to follow your rules, because typically when I would first start trading, or when I was a beginner trader, I would take those two trades, and even though they ended up playing out without me, I would have just re-entered it just because I seen price running. Today, I decided to follow my rules. What are my rules? My rules are 2 trades a day max, or a max loss limit of $1,000, okay? So what ended up happening, let me move my big ass head out the way. So as you guys can see, right, the market ended up shitting the bed to the downside, and my bias was short on the day, right? Okay, so what ended up happening? Well, we ended up tapping into this 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, and I entered off this 1 minute inversion. My stops, instead of being at the top of the swing high, were at the top of this wick, and I got wicked out by a sack hair. Okay, typically when I would first start trading, that would affect my entire week and my entire fucking day, the rest of the day, right? I was in Discord today laughing because I knew it was a mistake of mine, and I knew it was an A+ setup, so there wasn't much I can do. What was the mistake I could have fixed? Well, I could have put it to the top of the swing high, right? Instead of just this candle, I could have put it to the top of the swing high. So that was a mistake. What did I just do right there? What did I just do? I'm learning from my mistakes, right? I'm taking a loss as a lesson. I'm not letting it eat me alive, okay? Immediately after, we get an SMT. Why? Because ES ended up sweeping that high out, and then we get another 1 minute inversion right here. I then enter off that inversion, stopped at the swing highs, okay? My break even point was this low right here, all right? What ended up happening? We ended up coming down, taking out my break even, perfectly edging my entry point, perfectly stopping me out at break even. And then what ended up happening? Well, price ended up running right without me. Did I get FOMO? No. Did I enter another trade? No. There was also another A+ setup right here with this 1 minute inversion. We came up back into a 5 minute fair value gap. We got the 1 minute inversion. We still had clear draws lower. The trade would have looked something like this. Okay, for another 1 to 4 trade banger, or a 1 to 4 RR banger. But what did I do? I decided to follow my rules and just relax and move on. Okay, I learned from my losses. I learned what I could have done better within these 2 trades, and I'm moving on. And why did I do that instead of re-entering? Well, because if I went ahead and re-entered, and even though I would have won, internally I would have knew I was breaking my rules, and that's not okay. Why? Because if you do it once, then you're going to do it again. Okay, and that price could have easily, because we had a previous day low SMT, so price could have easily just inverted this 1 minute gap, came down here into this 3 minute, right? I'm giving you guys live examples of this. We could have easily just came into this 3 minute and then reversed back up and then done whatever the fuck, right? Possibly stop me out, okay? So even though I seen price run without me, over time, I learned that FOMO does nothing but hurt you. Okay, and you guys will learn, and most likely you guys are going to learn the hard way, but it's okay. Okay, not everything is just a loss. Even your losses, even when you get FOMO and you get fucked from getting FOMO and you enter the trade and you get stopped out, look at it from a different point of view and look at it like, okay, we can learn from this, right? And I feel so internally good. Yeah, even though I lost both trades and I had the right bias on both of them, well, I didn't lose both. I lost one and got break even on the other. Yes, I was a little annoyed because bullshit price action. Like, the draw on liquidity was super freaking clear. Super freaking clear. But it just didn't give it to me this time. And that's part of the game, okay? You guys have to learn that. The sooner you guys learn that, the sooner you will be. How do I know this? Because I was in your guys' shoes. I was the one that if this would have happened, I would have just entered off of this fucking 1 minute breaker structure right here, right after I got fucking break even off of, with no confluences whatsoever. I would have just entered off that. And I could have easily just got stopped out. And I know when I enter when I'm not supposed to and I win, those those wins internally don't feel good because I know I shouldn't have even been in that trade regardless. And then the losses are just as bad because you lose. You're going to want to go get into another trade and make that money back. And I know because I've been there so many fucking times. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to say that. So what ended up happening today? Well, like I said, both of my trades ended up playing out without me, but I didn't get FOMO. And I feel so good about that. Why? Well, because I didn't, risk losing another trade and breaking my rules. And internally or mentally, I'm telling myself, good job, because if I was to enter another trade, what would I be telling my brain? Well, then that's okay. And that we can do that over and over and over again. And that should never be the case, right? I used good risk management today. I followed my rules. Even though I didn't make any money, I'm still internally satisfied. And the sooner you guys can get to that point, the sooner it'll be. This is going to be a relatively quick YouTube video, but I wanted to make it to show you guys how it feels to actually watch price run without you and be okay with it, because that is what is in the mind of a profitable trader. Okay. And most of you guys that are going to be watching this are unprofitable as shit. The ones that are profitable understand what I'm saying. Okay. It'll get better over time. But day in, day out, you guys have to follow your rules, okay? You can't hesitate. When the opportunity presents itself, go ahead and enter. I've had a problem the past, I'd say, week and a half. Not this week, but last week, the first half of last week, and then the week prior to that. So about a week and a half ago, I was having problems hesitating. I would see my setup, everything I would want to see happen, and I just wouldn't enter. Why? Because I was too scared of losing the trade. Well, as soon as you're scared of losing a trade, you're probably going to fucking lose that trade, okay? So what was I doing? I was just sitting out of trades and watching price run without me. And I wouldn't say I was getting FOMO, but I was getting a little bit irritated, right? And honestly, now that I look back on it, those days a week and a half ago, even though I've learned prior to that, those days actually helped me out today. Very today, right? So you can use those lessons learned in the past to help you in the fucking present. Because that's exactly what I did. I was watching price run without me. No, I wasn't entering. I was still following my rules just by not entering. But I was hesitating, right? And I wasn't getting FOMO. Okay, and I was teaching my brain to not get FOMO, and that it's not okay just to enter. And what ended up happening? Well, that ended up helping me out today. Even though, yes, the trade ended up playing out and my bias was correct on the entire day. The price ended up shitting. I would have top ticked. Like, look. I would have top ticked damn near this entire fucking move right here. Here's my entry point. Damn near top ticked 200 points. And I had a fucking 9-point stop loss, right? So, whatever though, right? Whatever. There's always a next day, okay? Because like I said, if you guys were to lose after losing this, well, now instead of, I lost $1,000 today per account. So I lost $10,000 today. If I would have lost again, and it would have been a $900 loss, well, then my $10,000 losing day would have became a $20,000 losing day. Okay? So that's where it fucking gets you. And I'm going to come back tomorrow and look at my account balance and be satisfied like, oh, I was so used to fucking just entering and losing that when I take one loss, it actually doesn't even affect my fucking account balance at all. Okay? The sooner you guys start following rules, the sooner you guys will become profitable. A lot of people say it. I've said it billions of times throughout my entire video. Literally go watch any psychological video I have. I fucking say that literally every single video, and it sounds like a fucking broken record at this point, but it feels really, really good, okay? And those days you do make mistakes, if you are a beginner trader, they're completely normal, but keep it to a fucking minimum, okay? And learn from them. Don't make the same mistake over and over and over like I did, okay? Learn from your mistakes. I'm not even talking about losses. I'm just talking about entering blindly, right? You don't want to enter blindly in the market. Sorry, there was a spider on the other side of my window right behind me, and I was just watching it fucking crawl on the outside of the window. But anyways, that's not the point. I have 3 things to tell you guys before I get off for this video, okay? Number 1, always believe in yourself, okay? Always, always, always believe in yourself. The day you lose, or the days you lose, it's okay. You don't have a 100% win rate, so don't expect to win every fucking time, okay? It's okay. Learn from it, journal it, see what you could have done better, and move on. I promise you that is the best way, okay? The second thing I have to tell you guys, don't get FOMO, okay? FOMO does nothing good for you. I used to get FOMO all the fucking time, and I would enter blindly, and I would end up 9 times out of 10 just getting fucked, okay? It does nothing good at all, okay? And the third tip I have for you guys, for you beginner traders that are watching this video, just take this to heart and understand what I'm saying, okay? Just understand this. Patience and discipline will make you a fucking millionaire. I promise you that. I'm on my way to becoming a millionaire. I'm not there yet. I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I'm on my way. Okay? And I'm close. And what got me there? Patience and discipline. Stop rushing the eval. Stop rushing the payouts. Because one day, you're going to pass all that shit. And you're going to win 3 trades in a row. And before you know it, you're going to have $3,000 in each fucking account. And just like that, right? Because why? You were staying patient. I'd say this. Last thing I have to say before I go. If you just take 3 trades a week, right? And I'm not saying you only have to trade 3 times a week. If your setup presents stuff, go ahead and enter. But don't feel like you have to trade every single day. If your setup only presents itself 3 times a week, right? Say it presents itself Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, then only trade on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Because if you try to force something Monday, Thursday, you're probably going to lose that shit, right? Where if you just stay patient, okay, and just follow your rules and wait for your setup and execute on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, that account balance will be so freaking good. Rather than entering on every single day of the week and having 3 wins and 2 losses where you could have just had 3 wins and no losses, right? So your P&L will add up if you be patient and disciplined, okay? Do not focus on the money at first. You have to focus on your discipline and your psychology and your patience. That is the last advice I have to give to you guys. Remember, no fucking FOMO, okay? Learn from your mistakes and move the fuck on. I love y'all. I'll catch y'all boys on Friday with another YouTube video, and I'll have a trade recap tomorrow for you guys. All right, I'm out.